So it all started with this report from the Daily Beast. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. So Herschel Walker, who is very pro-life and says he doesn't believe in exceptions, and unlike some Republicans who have sort of walked back from their abortion positions in the general election, he has been all in. Daily Beast reporting, pro-life Herschel Walker paid for his girlfriend's abortion. But wait, there's more. They have quite a bit of evidence to support this allegation. Let's go ahead and put this next piece up on the screen. The woman who they did not name, to protect her privacy, they say she supported these claims with a $575 receipt from an abortion clinic, plus a get well card from Walker that they actually have pictured in the piece with his, very clearly his signature signed on the card, and a bank deposit receipt that included an image of a signed $700 personal check that came from Walker. So you've got the receipt from the abortion clinic, the get well card that came right after the abortion, and the bank deposit receipt that is for the rough amount that the abortion cost directly from Herschel Walker.
Crazy.
So pretty hard, I would say, to deny that one. It seems like the facts are fairly clear here. Also important to keep in mind, Herschel Walker has been caught in so many lies at this point. I cannot keep track of all of them. There were obviously the ones about his kids that he denied even to his own campaign staff were his until he got caught red-handed. Now he's trying to say, oh, I just wanted to protect them. That's why I wasn't talking about him. That was not the story at the time. In fact, his own campaign staff was leaking to the Daily Beast about how they didn't know whether he was lying, that he was a pathological liar, that they couldn't trust anything that he said, that they sat down with him after the first revelation and were like, Herschel, dude, are there any more? And he's like, absolutely not. And then that very day, they get new evidence that, in fact, there are more kids. He's lied about his bio. I mean, you could go on and on. There's clearly a difficult relationship with the truth. So anyway, that is the context for his flat-out denial. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. Walker says this is a flat-out lie. I deny this in the strongest possible terms. This is a repugnant hatchet job from a Democrat activist disguised as a reporter. He's obsessively attacked my family. He's harassed friends of mine, asking if I father their children. He's called my children secret because I didn't want to use them as campaign props in political campaign. That's what I was talking about before. Now they're using an anonymous source to further slander me. They'll do anything to hold on to power. It's disgusting gutter politics. I won't take it anymore. I'm planning to sue the Daily Beast for this defamatory lie. It will be filed tomorrow morning. Just a little bit more on his response, because I thought this was interesting. He kind of tried to imply that the reason they're going after him is because he's black. Let's go ahead and put this piece up on the screen. So this reporter says she was at a Herschel Walker event when the story broke, and his immediate response was, that's a lie. The Daily Beast, they said that about my kids also. They lied. No, they didn't. Anyway, so I don't take anything that seriously, and I think that right now I ask this question, would they be doing that if I was white? Okay? So already a lot of drama here. However,
this takes the cake.
Yes, the story goes so much further than this. So Herschel Walker, you guys may be aware of, he has actually quite prominent son, Christian Walker, who has been Herschel's probably most prominent campaign surrogate, who himself is outspoken, right-wing conservative, really
he has a podcast called Uncancelable. Let's just put it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, loves to own the libs and he's down for the cause, right?
Yeah.
So Christian has been really outspoken in favor of his father's campaign. Something about this story and the denial triggered a total 180 from Christian Walker with regards to his father. So let's put this up on the screen. He says, every family member of Herschel Walker asked him not to run for office because we all knew some of his past, every single one. He decided to give us the middle finger and air out all of his dirty laundry in public while simultaneously lying about it. I'm done. Christian continued. Let's go ahead and put this next piece up on the screen. I know my mom and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a mockery of us. You are not a family man when you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move over 6 times in 6 months running from your violence. I don't care about someone who has had a bad past and takes accountability, but how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral, Christian, upright man. You've lived a life of destroying other people's lives. How dare you? So his son, who has been very outspoken in favor of him, completely turning on him in a scathing fashion, and that's where things stand right now.
And so while you and I are on the air, he actually put out a new video. I haven't, obviously we're doing the show, but he just says, I've stayed silent for nearly 2 years. My whole life has been lied about publicly. I did one campaign event, then said I don't want any more involvement. Don't you dare test my authenticity. And he's giving out his full story. He says, I've spoken to nearly all the people who have attacked me and told them I didn't want to be involved. Now they're blaming me for everything I'm not responsible for. It's disgusting. So look, when your own son is going scorched earth against you and calling you an adulterer and confirming that the story is effectively true, I mean, you're just seeing a massive, massive mess. I think it very links neatly with the story we're about to talk about next, which is, in a way, I feel bad for Herschel Walker. It seems clear to me that he's just not all there. Whatever's left, he's taken very impulsive decisions in his life. He's ruined a lot of his family, and he was a flawed candidate basically from the beginning, which was obvious to just about anybody every time he opens his mouth.
So I typically, as you guys know, I don't put a lot of stock into candidate quality. Except in extreme circumstances, and this is an extreme circumstance.
I think it is extreme.
When you have, there have been obviously repeated issues with the lying about the kids and the getting caught in that, and the lying about the bio, and just his inability to really, explain his positions in a straightforward manner. But then when you have, the story itself was damaging, but I don't think a total deal breaker in terms of the Senate race. But then when you have your own son, who's been so prominent, coming out in this manner and just guns blazing, saying, you're an adulterer, you're a liar, you threatened us with violence, you've ruined all of our lives, we all begged you not to run. I mean, I think that's a very, very difficult thing to ultimately overcome. And, this is a race. Georgia's another state like Nevada where the polling has actually been quite accurate. In fact, I think the polling going into the last two Senate runoffs actually understated Democratic support by a little bit, like maybe a point or two. So when you look at this race and you see polling that has it neck and neck, true toss-up, Raphael Warnock maybe with a little bit of an edge, and then you see this just disaster for Herschel Walker and frankly for his family, this is going to be, I think, difficult for Republicans to be able to pull off. I'm seeing them being a little more hopeful about Oz now. Oz had his own story come out yesterday about
dogs,
puppies.
We'll do a segment.
We're going to have to cover that one because some of these allegations are
it's actually
horrifying. And obviously it's no accident that these types of stories come out in October, a couple weeks before an election. This is exactly when you would time an oppo dump to try to, really land with the electorate before people start voting and go to the polls, but that doesn't mean that the allegations are false or untrue or unworthy of reporting on, ultimately, even if, they are sort of coming from one side of the political spectrum. So in any case, I think this makes it a lot more difficult for Republicans to pick up the state of Georgia. When we were down in Atlanta, I actually predicted Republicans would win this seat. I am changing that prediction. I now think this is going to be a very difficult situation for them to overcome, just because this is all so incredibly disturbing and damaging. And so that doesn't mean that Republicans won't pick up the Senate, but they're going to need to look to states like Nevada and Pennsylvania. Even if they just pick up those two, then they'll be able to get the 1 seat margin that they ultimately need here. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.